Don't come for me. There, done, out the way.
Just ride with me. We gon' hit the street. Take you on a ride. You ride. I'll take you on a ride of your life. Need you here on a passenger side. Baby, we could slide a ride of your life. You wanna ride your life.
Hey guys, you just tuned in to Riding with AJ. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and hit that alert bell. Today, we are going to be talking about something I have been hesitating on for the past couple of weeks, simply because I recognize I'm still working through a lot of how I feel about it, but I'm hoping that talking to you guys, I'll be able to find the language for some of the things that I'm feeling. In my previous video, I mentioned that I lost my brother, and I found out upon waking up out of my induced coma. So let's just talk about the compound trauma there. Hey, you've just missed months of your life. Life is gonna look different for you going forward, and to top it all off, your younger brother is gone. And in the moment, I don't even think I digested it. I remember them kind of saying, and at the moment I couldn't talk either, so I can't express how I'm feeling either. But I remember my family kind of being around me, kind of whispering back and forth or in low tones saying, you know, should we tell her or should we not? And somebody told my mom, just go ahead and tell her. So she was like, yeah, you know, AJ has passed. We're going to have to leave to go to his funeral. So that's another layer. You're in the hospital. You cannot go say bye. Which, through this journey, it's very clear to me, and I'm totally clear on, funerals are for the living. They are not for the dead. It's nice to recognize them and honor them in that way, but it gives the living closure more than it probably does the person that's gone. So I didn't get that closure when it comes to him. And when I think about it, my brother and I are just connected in a really weird way. I remember the night he was born, and I didn't have language for it then, but I had this feeling inside something's gonna happen. I didn't know what. I wasn't by no means a psychic thing where, yeah, my mom's gonna have this baby tonight. My sister was asleep and I just couldn't sleep, and the TV was on, and I think I might have had the light on, but I should have been asleep. So I remember hearing her come and like pretending, faking like I was asleep. She's like, wake up, I know you're up. So I hop up and she's like, wake your sister. My mom is like, wake your sister up. And my sister and I were laughing about this the other day, because not too long ago, I don't know if it's the other day, not too long ago, because she used to be a heavy sleeper, dead to the world. I don't think she still is, but definitely a hard sleeper. I'm telling you, pinch, hit, push, shove, wouldn't flinch. And as a kid, I didn't play with my mama, so I was like, hurry, like, please get up, you're gonna get me in trouble. My mom was just yelling and pacing back and forth, and call Aunt Rita. And this is probably a perfect time to put a disclaimer in, because y'all internet people be weird. My biological mom is deceased. I refer to my Aunt Rita as mom because she raised me. So if you ever hear me say mom or reference her in that manner, don't come for me. Talk about, I thought you said your mama did. Okay? There, done, out the way. My biological mom is like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And, you know, I'm rushing in, trying to wake my sister up, and I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm 8. Like, I don't really digest what's going on, that a life is coming into the world. It just felt like chaos. So nonetheless, my mom has the baby actually in the house. So she had my brother in the house, and I think we ended up going to Aunt Rita's house, or a lady that used to live down the street. I think her name is Mrs. Terry. Wonder where she is in the world. But yeah, she took us, watched us, and, you know, months later, you know, here's my brother. So the age gap between my brother and I is an 8-year difference, so I'm about 8 years old. We grew up together in the same vicinity until he was probably, I'd say about like 4-ish. So we were really close when he was younger. He used to fall asleep on my chest, and he was just a character, but he was so full of love. And when my mom actually passed away, all of my siblings were kind of separated, so we all lived in different places and locations. So I hadn't seen my brother from his age of 5 until he was probably about 16. The first time my siblings and I all got together was when my younger sister, that's immediately underneath me, she graduated from high school. So we all kind of gathered for that, and that's probably actually the last time I've seen my brother. Now, that's not to say that we didn't talk, we didn't speak, that he didn't show up for me or I didn't show up for him. He would always like check in, hey, how you doing, what's going on? And then of course, younger siblings, can I have, you got, and I might have fussed a little bit, but I did it. This is gonna be hard, guys. So that's the nature of our relationship. But fast forward from that weird connection of knowing he was gonna be born at birth, and fast forwarding to his exit, that we were pretty much dying at the same time. Essentially, we were probably both fighting for our lives around the same period. That thought in and of itself just kind of blows my mind. And then I really struggle with, my sister doesn't like when I say this, but I know there's only an 8-year difference. But at my little big age of 30 and his age of 22, I feel like I've lived. I've laughed, I've loved. If somebody were to put me on an Instagram post or whatever it may be, rest in peace, like, there wouldn't be any other thing to say. Like, that girl lived her life. I've traveled, I've done things, and just to think that he didn't get that chance, it hits hard. So I struggle with, why did God save me and not him? That whole idea of how I'm still here and he's not. It hits a nerve. And I know I won't get an answer, right away. But it's a hard kind of pill to swallow. Like, why didn't you pick the one that had so much more life to do? And it's part of the reason why I feel like I just am supposed to be fulfilling my purpose. Hopefully me speaking about some of my traumas helps someone else deal with theirs, overcome, make them feel like they're not alone. So the other thing with my brother's passing is, I've always seen, maybe for about, I'd say at least the last 5 years, if not a little more, I see the number 2 in repetition. I know some people refer to them as angel numbers, but all of the little blurbs out there don't necessarily resonate with me on what that number is supposed to mean or speak to me as. But I could see it 222 miles till empty. I could see 2,222 emails in my inbox. Don't ask me why I have that many emails in my inbox. Don't come for me. But it shows up random places that makes you think, how is that a coincidence? I mentioned my brother was 22 when he passed, and his death date is called at 2/23/22, and I'm told it was kind of like in the wee hours of the morning. So I had this feeling, I could be wrong, it just could be my mind trying to, ... yeah, it's the same date, but I have a feeling that he more than likely passed on 2/22, and it wasn't called until 2/23 because it was kind of wee hours in the morning. The full story of how my brother passed, I just know it was kind of a free car joyride incident. It's alleged that he was hanging out of a window and with his friends, and they were doing donuts, possibly, where they take the car and spin it, and it just kind of twirls around on its axle. And somehow my brother was flung from the vehicle, and I think somehow the car ended up flipping. The car lost control and flipping on top of him. So I struggle with was he in pain? Was it quick? It's just kind of like, what a way to go. Breathing. Breathe, yeah. Get you through things. That's a tip. How do you get through? Breathe. Remember your breath. That's challenging to know that that's, how he went. My brain has a really unique way of protecting me from my own thoughts and feelings. So it'll block out certain things, certain dates, it'll just block things. The date 2/23 struck me just because of, the proximity to the number that I see all the time, 2/22. But I didn't connect the dots that it was a day before my sister's birthday. So as this is all coming up on about a year, I was speaking with her and I'm like, girl, what you doing for your birthday? And I'm also having a vision board party with close friends, and I remember her responding something to the effect of, let's go with this date because I don't know what type of mind space. And I just didn't even think nothing of it. Like, why are you already like knowing that you're gonna be depressed? Like, it just didn't even click, and I just kind of sped past it, not even knowing. And as I was asking her, what are you doing for your birthday? She's like, well, that's the day after AJ passed. That's triggering and traumatizing, for her. When you're supposed to be celebrating an additional year of life, of being on this earth, you also have to celebrate the new life that your brother is no longer here. Which, it's a lot to digest. So I don't even know how she's processing that, because she grew up in proximity with him his whole life. So they were a lot closer than he and I. But it doesn't make the feeling any less hurtful. And then sidebar, his nickname was AJ and my nickname is AJ. I didn't get mine until later on in life. If you check out like the introduction on the YouTube, you'll see where it came from. But it's kind of nice to have that connection to him now, to have his nickname too. Just sidebar. I had my 30th birthday last year, and my sister didn't give me my gift until after. And she's like, I know it's gonna make you cry. I'm like, what would you give me that's gonna make me cry? So his father died earlier last year. Like I said, our biological mom is deceased, and now he's gone. So they put together this plaque that has my mom's name, his dad's name, and then his name. And it's so moving to see all those three names kind of laid out like that. A whole family just kind of wiped out, gone. And I did cry. Like, that was the first time I think I finally let it out, was when she gave it to me. And like I said, I'm still working through a lot of this. And it's hard to know, how to feel sometimes. In the moment when I found out all of this, all I could think, Jasmine, you can't deal with anything else but your current situation. You're here, you're in the hospital, and you have to get out. How do you do that? If you allow yourself to feel those things, sit in those things, you're not going to experience progress. So that's what I did. I blocked out all of this until I got out of the hospital. So when she gave me that was the first time I had to actually sit in it. So I haven't even looked at his obituary or anything that they have given to me. But they gave me that plaque. All of the siblings decided, because I wasn't able to physically be there, that they would present me with the plaque. So I'm so thankful. I'm so appreciative that they kept me in their thoughts. And were mindful of me and my feelings and how to incorporate me even though I couldn't be there. So that was just really, 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 really meaningful to me. Losing a sibling in just general, outside of how I found out, everything else I had going on, and my connection to him, losing a sibling, no matter what your connection, is just different. I'm the second oldest of 5 on my mom's side, and I've always felt a responsibility to my younger sibling. But there was a long time where I felt responsible for them almost as if they were my kids, but I just didn't have the means, or I was a child too, to kind of like take them on as my own. But in many ways I felt the responsibility of that. So it's almost like a piece of you is missing. And I say that in conjunction with also having lost a mother. It just feels very, very different. Losing a mom, the cycle of life, it happened a little earlier than it should have. But you're supposed to lose, a parent before you. But a brother that young, it just doesn't feel right. A lot of people don't talk about what it means to lose a sibling, and a lot of people lose them just as much as they lose, parents. But, the loss of having like your best friend or someone you grew up with that you have shared experiences with. You have shared experiences with your parents, but it's in a very different light, It's a respect, a gap of I'm the parent, I'm the control, I'm the power, versus your sibling, which is your equal to some sense. And it's just sad knowing that we won't be able to create any more of those shared experiences, especially since in my situation, we didn't get many of them to begin with. I'm working through all of this is talking to you guys about it, which is probably the most I've said or put thought into. I'm in therapy. Therapy, I totally recommend. Now with therapy, you gotta tell the truth. So disclaimer, if you say it don't work, either you don't have the right therapist or you ain't telling what you need to tell. Putting that out there. Trying to be connected to my siblings that may be going through some of the same feelings, which I could probably be a lot better at, but it's difficult to kind of have these conversations and tap into how you feel and how it'll trigger and what it'll trigger. But I think, knowing that you aren't alone in the feeling and they're probably sharing some of the same sentiments can be comforting. And I'm remembering him and keeping him in my heart and my love and my light, and praying and hoping that God sends him my messages. It's the second install of Riding with AJ, and I hope you enjoy. Please, please, please comment below on if you've lost a sibling, if you know someone who has lost someone, what are you doing to get through it, and just share and cheer each other on down there. We're trying to build a community here. So I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for letting me share my story with you. It's an honor, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, guys.
I know what it's like to lose. Do you? Have you ever loved someone, then lost that one? You can't even call their phone. You can't even ask how their day was. Nothing in life's guaranteed. You'll see. I've been missing you for 10,000 hours. I cannot let go. 10,000 memories.